What's happening, people? It is Wednesday night. We're on our TSL online call. Actually, our MD Excellence call. It's 10:06 p.m. and we got 14 dudes on this call. We're talking about some good stuff. So the question actually came up on techniques to get laid. All right. It was actually that this girl lives really far away. We're going on a date, and she was really, really far away. And my MO is normally to have the girl by my house. And so I was asking about that. But here's the thing. You are 10 lays away from finding out that answer. And that's really everybody. In fact, what these guys are talking about right now, which is really crazy, and I just had to interrupt to do the recording and all that sort of stuff, is the journey of that can be totally chaotic, nuts, fun, badass, but it will be badass if you get through it and you let yourself do it. So this is the Sexual Life Podcast, broadcasting on iTunes, Stitcher, and YouTube if you want. And actually, I would really recommend this. Man, we are a massive community. In fact, this is actually streaming on the Austin Men's Development Board, which is a free board, which you can join. And if you're a guy looking to better yourself, that's what you got to do. Now, that being said, if you want to find out about that, you click the free stuff link down below. So if you're listening to this podcast or you're watching on YouTube, you click that free stuff link and it will take you to a place where you can download a PDF, whatever that is featured. It could be the text messaging guide. It could be older men and younger women. It could be guides to better sex. There's so many different ones. There's out of the friend zone, the date guide, fucking man, it's just nuts, man. The way of the sexual man, all sorts of stuff. And that's all to make your life better, man, because it just well. They're tried, they're true, they came out of our communities. I've been teaching for a long time. This is what we do, man. You want help with that? Those answers are there for you to do it. So click that free stuff link down below, join our free Austin Men's Development group, and also download our PDFs, and you can watch the video if you're listening to this on iTunes. That all being said, 10 lays away. What the fuck does that mean? I'm 10 lays away. See, here's one of the things, is that when we're looking at sex, and so many guys look at it, and if you download our escalation models, you're going to think technique works, but you got to be there. It's an expression of you. It's also that technique is dependent upon her being somebody that is turned on and has a sex drive, and you having a sex drive. And then you go, well, tell me how to turn her on, tell me how to get the kiss. It's not that. That's part of it. And those are important parts of it. Those techniques are badass. Like how you get a kiss, how you set up your dates, how you have better sex, how you get her more turned on is, Jesus, man, they're fucking awesome. But the problem is that when we rely so much on those techniques, we blame it. We don't invest ourselves. We don't push where we need to push and go where we need to go. Now, also, women and sexual escalation is totally confusing, man. It's mind-bending. You don't know. You have to be experienced. So many guys get caught up in this area where they want to get better at sex or escalate on women or get sexual, and they learn about it before actually doing it. It does not work that way. This is not engineering school. This is not how you made it through college. This is not how you excel at your workplace. This is a different thing. Human interaction is so dependent upon feeling, drive, and the things that we are born to do. But just know that if a girl goes on a date with you, most likely she is more than willing to sleep with you. She hasn't made that decision yet, though. It's your job to convince her. That doesn't mean that just because she goes on a date with you, she's going to fuck you. That means that that's an opportunity for these things to unfold. And you got to know how to do it, man. It's great. You got to know how to be a man. You got to know how to be a man that allows women to make a decision that is going to better themselves. And there's so many people that go through sex with push. Now, here's the thing. What's going to make sense of all this right way and wrong way of how to have sex are those 10 lays. You are 10 lays away from understanding, and it'll take less than that. I almost guarantee you. But some of the guys they're talking about on the call, they had to fuck through their shame. They had to fuck through their confusion. They had to fuck through erectile dysfunction. They had to fuck through premature ejaculation. They had to fuck through all these different things that inhibited them. But if they got in their head about it, if they built more anxiety, guess what? They're now having a relationship or expressing to this woman a side of themselves that only happens in duress rather than their expression. So we have to calm that down. We have to learn that our body and our expression of our body is different than our mind. And our mind may be saying one thing, but our body isn't caught up to it. Our body doesn't yet know how to perform under these different things. So we're driven to it. We all want to do it, but our culture, and let's not hate on this too much, but this is the reason why our culture is so detached from sex. We're not having sex. We're not sexual. In order to be sexual, we have to follow all these PC rules and whatever. And then we actually do start to have sex and it's not that way. And then we think we're lied to, whatever. That's just how it happens. But the thing is that, man, we'll figure that out. We'll figure out the language of our body. 10 lays, 10 sexual experiences. That means we have sex. We go to completion. All right. If we start to go limp, we don't panic about it. We go back and we do something else, because sexual expression is another thing. And believe me, man, if we go limp, she feels bad about it too, but in a totally different way than us. We feel disempowered. We feel impotent, our power taken away from us. We feel that we just want to stop. We feel there's something wrong with us. And this will happen to you if you're sexually active. But to her, she feels like, oh my God, I did this. I'm not hot enough. I need to do something about it. She doesn't know that it might be because you're nervous, and you need to communicate that to her. She doesn't know that sex can still happen. And it's not just that you eat her pussy and please her, but notice her body. See it, realize that sex is more than the orgasm or the hard dick or the wet pussy, but it's experiencing her and her feelings. And also know that if it doesn't complete to the hard dick, the hard pussy, the orgasm, then it also means nothing. So it's really interesting, and that sounds very confusing to somebody that hasn't had sex, but talk to a guy who's hit that 10 lay period, and it's like, oh man, that's what I'm excited about now. I want to know about the feeling, the language of seduction, and then the language of the orgasm and how they mix and blah, 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 because we start to learn this new language. The other language that you're not going to know that you are 10 lays away from is what's aggressive. What's this rape culture guy? You don't want to be that guy. You don't want to be the guy that's the rape culture guy that the feminist guys get all pissed off about, and then in order to have sex, you need to join some like man-hating or women-hating group or whatever it is that, says like women are just objects and you treat them like, no, I get that. I get that you can grab a girl. When Julian Blanc got in trouble for all that stuff of like grabbing girls or choking them or whatever he was doing or lowering their heads, there's a time and a place where a woman will like that. There's a time and a place where most women will like that. But in a social setting where they're being shamed online, probably not. But in the bedroom, to the man that they've chosen, in the bedroom to the man that they can feel open enough to be turned on to, that's great. So how do we get there? You're 10 lays away. You're going to screw up. You're going to mess up, but you have to learn how to take it. If that bedroom door closes, that gives you a lot of permission to do things. I mean, if you want to know my go-to move, and I talk about this all the time, there's plenty of escalation videos on it, but guess what I do? I as soon as I can, I take my pants off. As soon as I can, I get her to see my dick. As soon as I can, I get her to even see. If she won't touch my dick, I'll touch it for her. And I'll say, this is for you. That, if you look on a date guide written by women, seems offensive. Man, and I will tell you this, I've never, I've been on tons of dates and had sex with lots of different women. Nobody's ever been disappointed by that. So a guy who hasn't had sex, who hasn't gotten to that 10 lay threshold, is going, oh my God, like, so if I whip my dick out, that's how I do it. No. Look, there's more to it than that, but you might have to try, right? And part of that trying is that I am willing to show myself. I'm also willing to be responsible for it. I also know that when I whip it out, she's going to get a little bit afraid and go, I don't know, I'm not a slut. And I just say, hey, it's not about that. Just, I want you to look at it. I want you to like it. I want you to be a part of this. I want you to feel something. And this even goes to like pick up and being direct. All right. So pick up and being direct. And by the way, there's so many fucking insane, you should just know by now. I'm going to say it. Guys like Sasha Daygame, they're fucking insane. That's not being direct. That's faking your life and mimicking somebody that is direct about their life so that people respect you. And then you go fucking insane. It's like all those guys. What everybody that's into that. But the interesting thing is why can't you say a woman's beautiful? See, the problem with direct game guys is they're never that guy. They see it as a way to get sexual or to somehow compensate for something that they're missing in their life. But why can't you go up to a woman and say she's beautiful? And what's even better than that is learning how to do it in the way that it connects most. So part of that is knowing that in the social dynamic side, if we're willing to show ourselves, social dynamic side, not willing to show yourself, you end up fucking losing your shit, right? Because if you start getting results for that and people start liking you for that, women start having sex with you, start making friends, you build a business on that, it's a lie. You're not that guy. You know you're performing all the time. But if you can go up to a woman and you say, man, you're beautiful, and she gets mad, that will happen. If you do that, she will get mad. She will get pissed, right? But you're 10 experiences away in that situation from going up to a woman and saying, hey, you're beautiful. Which I actually don't say all the time because there's probably better ways to communicate it, but I have. You say, hey, you're beautiful, and she gets offended. And I say, hey, look, I'm just saying it. I'm not saying it for like whatever reasons. I'm saying it so that you have a choice to talk to me or not. And it sounds like not. But you don't need to make things so complicated. Anyway, my name's Steve, by the way. Nice to meet you. I want her to get out of her head and be the woman that sees beauty. Just like I want her to be the woman, the beauty, the vixen, the Madonna, the whore, all these different things that goes into her sexuality. I want her to be able to be it with me. And the fear that wraps around it is this chatter that comes all over the place. Just like these guys on the other side have this chatter of how we need to overpower women and all that sort of shit. Look, let me just tell you, I have fucked women into oblivion. I have fucked women and had power. I have had women serve me and do things or whatever and blah, 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 blah. And those are great stories to tell your guy friends. And I still tell them to this day because it's awesome. But there's also a flip side to it. That woman took a part of me. That woman took a beautiful experience. And it was great, man. I gave to her just as much as she gave to me. It didn't have to be this power struggle. What it had to be is I needed to get those 10 lays to realize that women are different than men. And our roads to life, sex, loving, all these different things had to be realized. And they didn't need to be controlled. More than anything, she needed to express in her way, and I needed to express in my way. And once I got that, the definition of what I saw women as and I'm open for it changing always, and men and how they are, and I'm open for it changing always, then I can see the individual. But when I see a woman or a man fighting for their individuality before their expression of what they were born with, that's when I see a big, big distortion. And we see it all the time with sex. We see it all the time with power. We see it all the time with all this different stuff. So guys, look, if you're not getting laid, if you're somebody that is just divorced and you haven't gotten laid in like 10 years or whatever it is, but you don't feel good about it anymore, or you just have zero experience, you're literally 10 sexual experiences away within a certain amount of time, maybe 6 months or 4 months, maybe even you can go a year. But you can even go a month if you can get those 10 lays. And they're different people. It's not the same person. But you're 10 lays away from understanding women, sexuality, yourself, and all these different things. And the more you talk about it, the more you theorize it rather than having it, the less you're actually going to know. And what could infinitely be better is if you join our men's group. Check out the Austin Men's Development Board. We're actually streaming this live on the Austin Men's Development Board. But also, we're streaming it live on our MD Excellence call. If you want to know about our free groups, you click the free stuff link down below. On that free stuff link, you get our free PDF downloads, but you also can join our free groups. And if you're listening on iTunes or Stitcher, you can watch the video. But man, we're a community. Don't let it stop with just passively listening. I get that. But man, if you're a guy and you want to learn more about sex or relationships or life or getting in shape or intermittent fasting or whatever, there's guys that actually do it. We're not posers. We fuck up. We break our diets. We go back to it. You know, we do a lot of different stuff in a lot of different expressions. And it's a really good group. The Austin Men's Development Board is a free group, so it also comes with different community problems that come with that. And it's totally true. There's a lot of guys who haven't experienced stuff and that are active on that board. And it's kind of anybody who has is like, whoa, man, this is some blind, lead me the blind shit. But of our upper tier programs, like the Men's Development Excellence course or our starter program, which is $20 a month, and you get a call weekly on that. That's badass. Man, that's fucking some cool shit. And we see a different level of men and on this awesome journey. Nobody's journey is the same, and it shouldn't be, because we're men who know what being a man is. And then our individuality can sprout from it. That is a fucking awesome thing. Anyway, we'll talk to you guys later. Enjoy your day, whatever you're listening to this, and pass on the good message. We'll talk to you soon. Ciao.